Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the cellmate of Ghislaine Maxwell has spoken, and she spoke to a publication known as the New York Post, where she revealed some things that, well, might shock you about the demise of one Jeffrey Epstein. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. Ghislaine Maxwell's cellmate, when she was one of her cellmates, when this woman was doing her time, and this woman was doing her time, by the way, for January 6th, a Miss Watkins. She was a cellmate of Ghislaine Maxwell's, and she said that she didn't interact with her much. She said that Maxwell tried to be kind of aloof, and not in a bad way, just in a way where she didn't want to get too close to the other prisoners. She was, obviously being a high-profile person, was concerned for her safety. But she said Maxwell was a model prisoner, and that she did do some pro bono work to help other people with their cases or with legal things that they had to write and things of that nature. But she said something struck her about one of the interactions she did have with Maxwell, where Maxwell said to her, the government wasn't interested in me until Jeffrey, and then she paused. And then she died. In other words, she didn't believe he just died. In other words, she believed, it appears to this woman, that she believed that somebody did him in, which I kind of have strong beliefs about as well. I still don't believe the official story, and I know that there's videotape and all this stuff, but something's off. I don't understand how that happens. I've known people, I've heard people on YouTube that have done time in that facility, namely Michael Francis, and he said there's no way. There's no way. You're checked on every 10 seconds. There's no way it could be done unless somebody wanted you to do it. Now, we don't have this interview here because this was a print interview, but we do have some more on the Maxwell story and what she's doing with the Department of Justice. I want you to take a look at it. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Questioned by a reporter.
Speaking of Ghislaine Maxwell, Mimi, she is making a slew of demands in order to testify before the House Oversight Committee. She wants immunity. She wants her questions in advance. She apparently wants a change of scenery because she doesn't want her prison to be the location for the interview, where, of course, Todd Blanche was meeting with her at one point in that area. And a spokesperson for the committee, Mimi, has already poo-pooed that whole idea in terms of the immunity request. But walk through this process, because even if she asked Congress for immunity, they're not the executive branch, the prosecutors who would oversee criminal immunity. They couldn't just unilaterally grant it in a way that would affect all of DOJ. But how would it even work if Congress wanted to extend immunity to her?
Well, I think, first of all, it's interesting that she and her lawyer feel so much in the driver's seat here. They seem to feel they have a lot of leverage because it takes a lot of gumption to make these demands, either because they're going to be refused and you don't really want to testify, or because you think people are so desperate for you to testify that they might actually grant them. But they're pretty bold set of demands. To say you want the questions in advance, nobody gets that,
right?
Or should get that, because those aren't real questions then. And in terms of immunity, we've already heard reporting that she was given sort of limited immunity, meaning her answers when she met with the DOJ could not be used against her. That isn't blanket immunity. It doesn't mean she can never be prosecuted for something again, just that her answers themselves could not be used against her. It's not totally clear to me what kind of immunity she's asking for here, but presumably it would have to still come from DOJ. And so you would have to have cooperation from DOJ to Congress. And again, I think, to some extent, she's not wrong that she's in the driver's seat, because we have the Deputy Attorney General meeting with her. What other convicted defendant, particularly of any crime, let alone sex trafficking, gets that kind of attention? So, I think it just shows their state of mind about how much leverage they at least think they have.
And of course, Congressman Kinzinger, this is the demand she's making after having met with him, not in order to meet with